Negative people, people that bring you down, people that kill your vibe, people that make life way harder than it needs to be. Let's talk about dealing with them and how to not let them affect you. I'm going to cut straight to the point here. People's negative emotions, feelings, reactions towards you or towards the general public are them problem. They are not a you problem. And that's the main idea and topic for this video. You may be a very sensitive person, and that's a beautiful thing. I would also say that I am a very sensitive person. I'm very sensitive to other people's emotions, feelings, reactions, etc. So it's imperative, if you are someone like that, or if you're not someone who resonates with what I just said, that you have what we're going to talk about today in your tool belt. And when I tell you, once I learned this, once I grasped this concept, it literally changed my life for the better. And I know it will change yours too. So let's get into it. The word of the day is projection. Now, what is projection? Projection for this context is when someone is seemingly rude or mean or condescending to you for no good apparent reason. Projection is an unconscious defense mechanism where a person attributes their own undesirable thoughts, feelings, or traits to someone else. Now, if you caught what projection is in that definition, then you understand how much of a game changer that is for one's mental regulation and emotional well-being. But we're also going to talk about it in the form of examples so that you can further digest it and further internalize what projection actually is. We're going to get some real world examples that you may have encountered in real life, and they suck. So we're going to talk about it. All right, I think this is a very common one that a lot of people can resonate with. So if it's triggering, I apologize, but yeah, I apologize. But it's for a good reason. It's for a good cause, right? So let's say you're at a party with your friends, right? And you and your friend group are talking to a couple of new people. Maybe it's a whole nother friend group. Maybe it's just a couple of people, but the two different parties have intertwined, have intermingled, right? When all of a sudden your friend starts to tease you, make fun of you, seemingly out of nowhere in front of these new beautiful people. What's wrong with you? What's going on? This is an example of projection, but how is it an example of projection? How is this different from just someone just being mean, rude, and nasty? I mean, first of all, this is supposed to be your friend, right? So we're assuming that this person just doesn't outright hate you, that you guys have some sort of relationship, right? And I do think that is a key component to projection. Not always, but in this circumstance, and you'll see what I'm saying. So in this scenario, your friend is subconsciously feeling insecure about themselves. There are these new and cool, different people in the equation, and they want to be seen as new, cool, and different too. But they are battling this internal insecurity, like we said. So what do they do to ensure that they also seem cool to these new people? They project their feelings of insecurity onto someone else. That someone in this scenario being you. So they don't have to deal with these emotions that are coming up in this moment themselves, and possibly to make themselves look temporarily interesting and cool in the moment. A way to think of projection is to throw something onto someone else, right? You're projecting these things that you're feeling, these uncomfortable, trauma-fueled, trauma-induced feelings and emotions that you don't really know how to process or to deal with, and don't want to process and deal with in this moment. I mean, you're at a party, right? You really don't want to do that. So the reaction is they project these feelings onto someone else. Kind of gross, but a way to think of it is like projectile vomiting. Like it's like, oh, like you're just projectile vomiting all this nasty shit onto someone else. Projecting. Let's do another example. Let's say you're chatting with your parents about this new and current interest you have in pottery. All right, and you're expressing to them that you really like it. You want to take it serious and maybe even be a professional potter. And their response, unfortunately, is, that's stupid. That's not a real career. You should put your talents into something that's worthwhile, something meaningful, something productive to society, something that will make you some money. What are you thinking, right? Now, this example could be rooted in a lot of things. None of these examples are just examples of just projection. Life is way more complicated than that. Life is never black and white. It's always gray. But projection is definitely happening. when they are projecting these negative emotions onto you. They may have uncomfortable feelings about choosing a non-traditional career or something related to that. And again, they're pushing these emotions onto you. And the way you can really tell that someone is projecting onto you or pushing something onto you is these are not your emotions that you're feeling. This is not something you said. This is not something you thought. This is something coming from someone else that is being pushed onto you. This narrative, these nasty words, thoughts, feelings, whatever, are being projected, pushed onto you. So now you kind of know what projection is from someone who has, a rudimentary understanding of what projection is. But how can you use this knowledge to help you deal with negative people, right? Understanding this didn't change the fact that it happened, and it didn't change the fact that you were made to be uncomfortable in front of these new people at a party. It didn't change the fact that you were made uncomfortable, having a conversation with your parents about something you thought was fruitful and nice. But here is why I think projection is a very amazing thing to have in your tool belt, and an amazing thing to think about in these moments. To really see how understanding projection can really help you and your mental in situations like this, you really have to reframe the thinking and think about projection like this. When someone is saying these nasty things about you or to you, they really aren't saying nasty things about you and to you. What they're actually saying is how they're feeling about themselves, right? I mean, these aren't your emotions, they're theirs. These are their emotions that they are projecting onto you. These are all things that they literally feel about themselves, which is insane when you think about it, but also very helpful and very fruitful. They're just trying to put these emotions that they don't want to deal with, that they don't maybe have the capacity to deal with, or the understanding or the help or counseling to deal with. They're just trying to put these negative feelings they have about themselves onto someone else. That is what's happening. This is incredibly eye-opening, and it helps you think of people in a different light in these moments. If someone is rude to me for seemingly no reason, my first thought is often now like, wow, I wonder what happened to them today, or I wonder what's got them in a bad mood, or I wonder what they're going through right now. I wonder what made them feel this way about themselves. I actually feel sorry for them sometimes, genuinely. But more importantly, it helps me not take it personally, and it helps me stay in my good mood, or the current mood that I'm in. Maybe it's not even good. Maybe I'm just very neutral and very content at the moment, but it helps me stay in that moment. And I think that's one of the most important takeaways from understanding projection is you don't let other people affect you as much. You don't let people take you out of your mood. You don't let people have control over you. If someone can say something to you and it completely changes your mood, now you're thinking about this, now you're thinking about that, they essentially just controlled what you thought, and they changed your mind for you. And that's a level of control that you really don't want people to have over you. And I think that's the most important takeaway about understanding projection. When you understand that and you are able to not let people take you out of your mood and change your emotions and how and what you're thinking about, you don't let people control you. If people can just say a thing to you and take you out of your mood, and now you're thinking about this and now you're thinking about that, essentially that person has a high level of control over you. And that's not a thing you want a lot of people to have, especially if they're spewing negativity to you. You understand what I'm saying? So let's go back to the party scenario with your friends who decided to call you out and make fun of you and tease you, hello Paris, in front of this new group of people. But now you're equipped with the understanding of projection, and you are able to see the situation for what it really is. You know that this is actually how this person feels about themselves. You don't feel as uncomfortable. You don't feel like you're being called out. You understand that this is less of an attack on you and more of a cry for help. You understand that this person is coming at you from a place of insecurity. You can stay calm, you can not get flustered, and you can actually react in a way how you would want to react and not make the situation worse. There's a lot of nasty rhetoric out there when it comes to men specifically dealing with their emotions. As I said before, especially that party situation, that's probably a situation that a lot of people have been in, participated in, been a victim of. And I think that's very telling of the current space that we are in as men when it comes to dealing with anything emotional, right? But this is nothing new. I don't have to tell you that. I said earlier in this video that you're probably sensitive if you clicked on this video. And now that you're still listening to that, I see that you didn't take offense to that. But even if you did take offense to that, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I think sensitivity is a very underrated power that we all have access to, but a certain demographic, obviously straight men, for one reason or another, have decided to exclude this part of their emotional spectrum out of their life. Again, for one reason or another. It's a very complex and nuanced thing that I'm actively fighting, not trying to get into that deep dive of why this is and why contemporary society is the way it is. That's another video for another time. We don't have the time to get into that. But if y'all want that video, maybe we can chat about that. Be sensitive. Sensitive is beautiful. It's powerful. Be sensitive. Sensitive is beautiful. It's underrated. It's powerful. Don't change. Just understand that people have different ways of coping with their emotions and feelings. So you just need to equip yourself with tools to protect yourself, but to also still be yourself. Always be yourself. Don't let society at large change who you are and make you out to be just a nasty, disgusting human being. I'm really fighting, not trying to get into that. I'm not getting on that tangent. We're gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you were wondering, by the way, why the setup and lighting keeps changing for my videos, mainly it's because I am like a director and a cinematographer, so I'm using these videos also to just kind of like practice lighting whenever I can, because you got to stay sharp. This isn't my best work, but you know, I thought it would look kind of nice when I walked into my living area. It kind of looked like this. I was like, what if we just kept it like this? But also, I have a thing about, like, I'm not gonna make it exactly look like the last video, so like maybe I just shouldn't even try. Maybe I should just do something different. But in my eyes, it keeps it interesting, it keeps it cool, keeps it new. So call it lazy, call it creative, call it whatever you want. I'm about to eat in a little bit. It's like almost 8 o'clock. My food is cooking. I'm making this video while I'm cooking. Foreshadowing, might be making a video around food soon. So, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you feel so inclined, I do hope that you like and subscribe and maybe share. But either way, just know that I care. And that's not the outro. What am I saying? If you feel so inclined, I hope that you like and subscribe. But either way, I do hope you stay, and I will catch you next time.